Hello everyone, it's Keeley, and it has been so long since I filmed that I forgot how to start my videos, but that's okay. We're here now and we're so excited. I'm excited at least. I am going to film a bookshelf tour to open up 2019, and this is going to be quite a long adventure, so stick with me. I have 6 bookcases. I have 4 like big bookcases and then 2 smaller ones. In case you were wondering, I got them all from Walmart. I know, I'm cheap, can't afford IKEA shelves. I've actually never been in an IKEA, but they're all from Walmart, like $30 each, and I have never had a problem with them. I love them so very much. So basically, this bookshelf tour is going to be pretty simple, I guess, like as simple as it can get. I'm not gonna pull every book out because those get kind of boring and I've done those a lot before, so I'm going to try something different. I'm still going to show you every shelf and talk about what's on the shelf and things like that. I watched a bookshelf tour from Books with Chloe recently and I really liked how she did it, so I'm going to try to do something similar. But yeah, let's get on into it. Okay, so this is the first bookshelf I have to show you. If you can see, it is all contemporary. I love contemporary, so I have a lot of contemporary books. So we'll just start with a little figurines and things on the shelf. All the way to the left here, I have a Linus Pop Funko. I don't know if it'll focus, but he is from the Peanuts world, Snoopy, Charlie Brown, all that stuff. Linus is my favorite character, so I have that of him. And then right here, I have a jewelry bag for Lord of the Rings. I got this in a Fandom of the Month Club unboxing, and it says, "There's no knowing where you might be swept off to." And it is from Lord of the Rings, which I already said. And then the last thing right here is an audiobook set for The Hobbit. It's in this really cool box, so you open it and all the CDs are inside. And then here's a really good look of all the books on the shelf. I really love how this shelf looks. I just kind of organize them by height. Some of them are not in the correct spot, but I think it looks good. I'll Give You the Sun, I just have to mention that, by Jandy Nelson, is one of my absolute favorites. Geekerella is one that I read in 2018 and is one of my absolute favorites as well. I also love the cover. Another cover and story that I absolutely loved was The Heartbeats of Wing Jones by Catherine Weber. It's about running and it has a tragic story to it, but it is really good and the cover is stunning. And then we have some well-known ones like When Dimple Met Rishi by Cynthia Menon and Winger by Andrew Smith. We have The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight by Jennifer E. Smith, Aristotle and Dante, and Ready Player One, which I have yet to read. Now down to the next shelf is also contemporary. If you look all the way to the left over here, I have a bunch of seashells from Florence, Oregon. Just a bunch of them. They all look the same, but I thought it was cool for the contemporary shelf. Right next to that, I have a little piggy bank thing that just says Adventure Fund on it. Got a lot of pennies in there, you know, getting rich and all that stuff. Right here, I have a picture of my family that traveled the world with me, and I took pictures of this picture everywhere I went, over Europe and everything. And then all the way to the right here, I have a little bitty monkey, and I don't know why or where I got him or why he's on the shelf or why he's not focusing, but he's just super cute, and so he sits on the shelf. So if you look all the way to the left, I have my Rainbow Rowell collection. Right next to that, I have a big collection of Sarah Dessen. One of my favorite books I'm just going to mention by her is Saint Anything. It is one of her newest books, came out a few years ago, and I absolutely love it. And then right next to that, I have some Huntley Fitzpatrick books, Gail Forman, Adam Silvera, you know, the typical. I still need to read Adam Silvera. I've met him and he's awesome. And then all the way to the right, I have 2 Nicholas Sparks books. I am trash for romance, Nicholas Sparks book, contemporary, love all that stuff. Okay, and on this third bookshelf, I have to show you, yet again, contemporary. All the way right here, I have this little cute stuffed bunny that I've had since I was very little. I got it on a road trip with my family and I dropped it into the lake about 5 minutes after I bought it, but so cute. And then right here I have a little Polaroid of my puppy Remus. Don't think it'll focus, but he's there, you know, super cute. And then I have a little ice cream cone with my name on it. I like to keep it on my contemporary shelf because, you know, ice cream. And then lastly right here I have a keychain of the Eiffel Tower. I got this in Paris, which was really cool. And none of the stuff will focus, but you know, that's okay. There it goes. So all the way to the left here, I have my Jenny Han To All the Boys I Loved Before trilogy, and I have an extra copy of the first one, which is the movie tie-in edition. I love Lana so much, and so I love the series and I love the movie, so I had to pick it up. And then right next to that, I have the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy, Burn for Burn, another Siobhan Vivian book. I haven't read any Siobhan Vivian, but I have 2 books by her. And then right next to that, I have my Morgan Matson collection, which I am obsessed with Morgan Matson. I think my favorite book might be Amy and Roger's Epic Detour, because I love road trips, and this was the first book of hers that I read, so I love it. And then right next to Morgan Matson, I have some Casey West books. I have 3 of her books, and I discovered her in 2018, and I am so obsessed with her, so I need to get more. Right next to that, I have Nicola Yoon, and then Stephanie Perkins, and then all the way to the right there, I have 4 Katrina Leno books. I love Katrina so much. She's so nice. And that arc, Lost and Found, I'll actually show you. Let me pull it out. So this arc right here was my very first arc I ever got. And I think it's really cool because they ended up changing the cover. So there's not that many books that have this cover, which is really cool. I love Katrina Leno. I think she's so underrated and everyone needs to read her. Okay, so on this shelf I have some more contemporary and then kind of historical fiction. I think there's some thrillers. You know, I'm not really sure. Some of these I haven't read, so I don't know what genre, but that's okay. So all the way to the left here, I have this super cute little snowman with the University of Oregon sweater, because I worked at the University of Oregon, so I got him while I was there, and I guess while he was there. And then right here, I have a little ornament with my name on it. This was a, like, present tag that my aunt made. That won't focus, but, you know, it has a little pear on it, and my name, and I just put it by my Christmassy books. And then all the way right here, I have this mirror that says, "Have you seen this wizard?" So all the way to the left there, I have that Christmas anthology My True Love Gave to Me. And then I have some David Levithan books. This book actually was the first book I ever got signed. I didn't meet him until later, but I bought it signed from Book Outlet. And then I did end up meeting him later so he could personalize it, which was really cool. I'll do a whole video on all my signed books because I have quite a few. I'm really lucky and blessed that I'm able to meet authors. Just because I live in Texas, and authors, you know, Texas is a big state. So anyway, right next to that I have my John Green collection. I love John Green. I think his writing is beautiful, and he's just a good person, you know. And so one of my favorite books by him is Paper Towns. I don't know why, I just find myself drawn to this book every time. Like, I always want to reread it. I always go back to it. It's not my absolute favorite anymore, we'll get to that in a little bit, but it was my favorite for a while. And then I do have 2 copies of The Fault in Our Stars. One of them was sent to me by my friend Katrina Leno that I mentioned up there, and it is a signed copy. And then I have 2 copies of Turtles All the Way Down, which is my new favorite John Green book, and this one I bought signed at Powell's Bookstore in Oregon. And then next to all my John Green books, I have quite a few standalones. A lot of them I haven't read. You know, Water for Elephants, it's a big movie, Robert Pattinson's in it. Still haven't seen it, but love me some Robert. And then I have some arcs after that, The First Time She Drowned, Goldfish, A World Without You, The Edge of Everything. I got those arcs at a book festival. Right next to that I have Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys. Love that book. And then of course, you know, a really popular one, The Book Thief. Love this, absolutely cried. And then by The Book Thief, I have some more historical fiction. I think they're historical fiction. And then Where Things Come Back, which was one of the first books I read because BookTube made me read. And then Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesiac, When I Was the Greatest by Jason Reynolds, which is a great book. And then The Primrose Path, which I got in Wales. And then all the way at the end there by The Primrose Path, I have this little snippet thing for Our Chemical Hearts by Crystal Sutherland. Haven't read it, don't own the like final copy, but this cover is really pretty. I like it a lot. Okay, and this is the last shelf on this first bookcase. It's kind of a random assortment and kind of boring. All the way over here, I have a little Pop Funko of Uncle Si from Duck Dynasty. He was my first Pop Funko, I think, but yeah, he's super cute. And then all the way to the left there, I have some records for the record player I got for Christmas. I will probably do a video about that because I've been having so much fun buying records. So right next to that, I have like some memoirs. I have 2 YouTube memoirs. I have Rhett and Link's Book of Mythicality, which I love. I'm obsessed with them. Then I have Grace in Style by Grace Helbig. Then I have The Star Won't Go Out by Esther Earl, which is so, so cool. And then right next to that, I have As You Wish by Carrie Elwes. I know a lot of people love The Princess Bride. I've seen it once and it wasn't my favorite, so I need to rewatch it because this book is actually signed by Carrie Elwes. Then I have some more like memoirs, nonfiction books. I have a lot of war stories. I love books about war and just hearing like firsthand accounts of war. One of my favorite war books and movies ever is Unbroken by Laura Hildenbrand. This is so, well, it fell, but this is so good. First, I watched the movie Unbroken, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen, and it is so heartbreaking and amazing, but the book, oh my gosh, so much more happens than the movie shows, and it's just incredible. Then I have The Princess Diarist by Carrie Fisher. Still need to read that. I'm kind of holding off just because still sad. I have some Mindy Kaling books, When Breath Becomes Air, which was a really popular book this year called The Midwife. I have a copy of the Bible. I have another copy somewhere on my shelf. I have a lot of copies of the Bible. And then next to the Bible, pretty much from this point onward, it's just all like Christian nonfiction books, so I won't really go into that because sure not a lot of you aren't interested. Well, except one of those. One of those is not Christian nonfiction. It is about borderline personality disorder. It's called I Hate You, Don't Leave Me, and I suffer with borderline personality disorder, and sometimes it's really hard to explain to people, so this book is a great way to understand the disorder. Okay, now we're on to my second bookcase. The first shelf on my second bookcase. This angle's not the best, but that's okay, we won't be here long. So if you see, I kind of have like a Star Wars shrine right here. I have a Pop Funko of Darth Vader, my favorite character, and a Pop Funko of Kylo Ren, my second favorite character. Then I have this bucket from the Force Awakens premiere that just has like bookmarks and like random stuff in it. Then I have these little things. I think I got them from Easter or something. They're like Easter eggs, but they're Stormtroopers and Darth Vader. And then to finish off the shrine is a Star Wars book collection. I think there's 2 books and like some short stories in there that my brother gave me. So I also forgot to say that this bookshelf is just kind of like series where I only have one book, and they're also tall hardbacks. So I have Nevernight, Caraval, The Cuckoo's Calling, Children of Blood and Bone, Afterworlds, Uncaged, which I think is like not even the first book in the series, Fallen Kingdoms, and then Blood of My Blood, which is the 3rd book in a series about serial killers, so I am intrigued. So on this second shelf, I have a few knickknacks. I have a wand with a little slip cover thing that I got at LeakyCon. It's no one in particular's wand. It is mine because, you know, the wand chooses the wizard. And that wand came with like a little vial of something, so you probably, oh, let's see if I can focus this. It is a Griffin Talon vial. It's happening. Slowly but surely, it's happening. That's as good as it's gonna get, but it's pretty cool. And then all the way to the left here, I have a small frisbee for the company I worked with up in Oregon. And then I have a ball that has the same company's name. It's a stress ball, so that's nice. And then I have a little rubber duck that I got at the University of Oregon. So this shelf is kind of an assortment of books. It is pretty much all series where I only have one book in the series, kind of like the top shelf, but this has a lot of popular series. So we have Truth Witch, which is pretty popular, The Star Touch Queen, another popular one, Dorothy Must Die, still haven't read that, Talon, which I'm gonna pull this one out because it is gorgeous. Look at that cover. It is so shiny, and I love dragon scales and just dragons in general, and this one's about dragons, and I haven't read it. Then one that I love, The Wrath and the Dawn. I have a Patrick Ness book, which that is, oh no, I do have another Patrick Ness book. But I haven't read this one. I got it because Tom Holland's gonna be in the movie. And then I have Red Rising, and then I have a few books in there about serial killers. I have A Fascination, got my degree in psychology and criminal justice. Love it. So Nearly Gone, I think, is about serial killers and the Naturals, I know for sure. Absolutely love this book, but I only own the first one, which is so sad because I love it. Then another random one that is so old is Hush Hush. Still haven't read that, but I still really want to because I am trash for books from like that time period, you know, Hush Hush, Twilight, Vampire Academy, things like that. Obsessed. This one I got for Christmas, Merlin, The Lost Years, which is gonna be super cool. The Thousandth Floor, Anna Dressed in Blood, and Three Dark Crowns, which is another popular one that I haven't read. So this shelf is also kind of the same thing where they're a part of series. Most of them I only have the first book, some of them I have multiple books, but the first thing on this shelf is my Sirius Black wand that I don't feel like taking out of the box right now. So that's pretty cool. Sirius Black is my favorite Harry Potter character, and this was the first wand I ever got. A book I want to mention on this shelf is This Monstrous Thing by Mackenzie Lee. I love this book a lot. It is a Frankenstein retelling, and the cover is absolutely stunning. I have the first book of the series of Unfortunate Events series. I'm really sad that I only have the first one because I really want to read them all, but they go by so quickly that I know I need more than one to like read them because I'm just going to go through them so fast. I have Into the Still Blue and Through the Evernight, which is part of a series. I think it's a trilogy I still need to read. Cinderella's Dress and Cinderella's Shoes. So this next shelf has some tall hardbacks, and it's just kind of random, I think. So what we're going to start with is I have another wand on the shelf. This is Hermione's wand, which is one of the prettiest, I think. I think most people think it too. And then right here I have a tin lunchbox that is Harry Potter themed. And so all the way on the left there I have some Francine Rivers books. I have a Jodi Picoult book, The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt, Horns by Joe Hill, You by Caroline Kepnes, which I have been wanting to read for so long and still haven't. Then I have a Brian Selznick book, which is so good. The illustrations are beautiful. And then I have two Brendan Kylie books, which he is a lovely, lovely person. I have this new book that I recently got called Soldier Boy, and the author has the same first name as me, spelled different, but still the same. And this one I know is going to be heartbreaking. It is part fiction, part true story about children soldiers, which is going to be really, really difficult to read, but important. And then right here, I'm really, really excited about this one. I have Dear Evan Hansen. I haven't seen the play. I have barely listened to the soundtrack because I don't want to spoil myself for, you know, one day if I might see the play, but I'm so excited for this. And then finally on the shelf, a really popular one is Sadie by Courtney Summers. Haven't read it yet, but I recently picked it up and I'm really excited about it. So this is the last shelf on this bookcase. I have a mask right there up front that I'm not going to reach out and get because I'm in a really uncomfortable position that you can't see right now. So we're just going to get started with the books. All the way to the left there, I have The Most Notorious Crimes in American History. I've already stated I'm really fascinated with crimes. And then right next to that, I have my Ellen Hopkins collection. Triangles is her adult book, and then the rest there are her young adult books. The only one of those there that I haven't read is Perfect because it is the second book in like a duology or trilogy thing, and I don't have the first one. Right below that I have two copies of Crank. That is the first book of hers that I ever read. And then if you go all the way past the Ellen Hopkins collection, I have A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, Forgive Me Leonard Peacock, and then some mental health stories like Side Effects May Vary. A lot of these are mental health books. It's kind of a funny story. The Lovely Bones is like a thriller, I believe. And then all the way to the right there, I have some mental health, like diaries. They're all written by anonymous. I don't know if the diaries are from real people or not, but I've read all of them and they're really, really sad and a lot of trigger warnings for a bunch of things like eating disorders and depression, all that stuff, but I really enjoyed them. So we are on bookshelf number 3, and this is the first shelf on this bookcase, and this, if you can't tell, is my Rick Riordan shelf. I love Rick Riordan, as most people do. So the only little trinket thing I have here is this jewelry bag once again, and it just says, even strength has to bow to wisdom sometimes. And so at the very top right there, I have a mythology book by Edith Hamilton. I felt it was perfect to go on this shelf because it is all about mythology. So all the way to the left here, I have my original Percy Jackson and the Olympians series that I first read them on. And then right next to that, I have a set that I bought from Wales. So I have 2 sets of this series, which I am currently rereading. And then right next to that, I have the Heroes of Olympus series, From the Lost Hero to the Blood of Olympus, which is so good. Right next to that, I have the Trials of Apollo series. I only have the first 2 books. I need to get the other one, I think. yeah, it's already out. I need to get it. Right next to that, I have Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard. Once again, I have the first 2 books. Need to get the others. I think there's only one more that's out. And then right next to that, I have the Kane Chronicles trilogy, which you can tell has been read because the spines are cracked. And then at the very end there, I have Erusha and the End of Time, which is not by Rick Riordan, but it is from his publishing company. And my friend Ashley from A Dash of Ash gave that to me, and it is signed, which is so cool. So on this next shelf, I have very few books, but I do have my Quidditch set right here that I got from Waterstones in England, and I love it. It is so precious, and I think it fills the space nicely. Right here, I have a light glow-in-the-dark stick thing from my 21 Pilots concert that I went to. And then all the way to the left here, I have a tiny miniature 9 3/4 Hogwarts Express mug that is filled with candy that I got in my stocking. So the shelf just contains series or books that are a part of series. So I have Stalking Jack the Ripper, which is the first book in that series. I don't own the others, but I enjoyed the first one, so I definitely want to read them. Then I have, I don't even know what this series is called. Oh, it's called a Stoker and Holmes series. I think it's like a Sherlock retelling, but I might be absolutely wrong. Then I have Leviathan, Behemoth, and Goliath by Scott Westerfeld right there. Still haven't read, but those books are like the heaviest paperbacks I have ever carried. And then all the way to the right there, I have Insignia and Vortex by S.J. Kincaid. Now, this shelf has some of my favorite series ever, or series that I haven't read yet, but I know that I'm probably going to love. So first here I have this like change purse thing, whatever you want to use it for, that has Severus Snape on it, and it says after all this time, always. And then I have a little Hufflepuff pin up there. If you can see that, I'm no longer Hufflepuff, but when I got this, I was Hufflepuff, and my friend Ashley, once again from A Dash of Ash, sent this to me a few years ago for my birthday. And then I have a little Iron Man figurine because I love Marvel. So all the way to the left here, I have Carve the Mark and The Fates Divide by Veronica Roth. Right next to that, one of my favorite series ever, The Illuminae Files by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. These are absolutely stunning. If you haven't seen them, if you haven't read them, come on, you need to. Right next to that, I have Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor, which is signed. She is absolutely lovely. And then I have her Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy right there that I haven't read, but I'm excited for because I just love her as a person. And then I have the Shiver series by Maggie Stiefvater. I think there's a 4th book, but I might be wrong. Still haven't read those, but they're about werewolves, so I know I'm gonna love them. And then right next to that, one of my favorite series of all time, actually it's my 2nd favorite series right after Harry Potter, The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. My favorite is probably Cress. Love that one so much. And then of course right next to that I have Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This shelf is another favorite shelf, and it is mostly dystopian. You know, classic dystopian. I still love dystopian. So first we have a Hunger Games cup from the premiere that I went to way back when. And I have another jewelry pouch that says, "If we burn, you burn with us." And then I have 2 Kung Fu Panda figurines, a Pop Funko, and then just a random figurine because I love Kung Fu Panda. So all the way to the left here, I have the Maze Runner series, and this was my original copies of the series, but then I got these from my brother, and these copies are very similar, but they're just a little shinier, which I really love. And then right next to those, I have the Fever Code, which came out later and is a prequel, and I enjoyed it. And then right next to that, I have my foil editions of The Hunger Games, which are absolutely stunning, so I'm going to show you all of them. Look at those. Then right next to it, I have this copy of The Hunger Games, which is the just American edition, I think. This is the only copy I have in this edition because I have 2 special editions. And then I have these editions of The Hunger Games. If you can't tell, I love this series so much. I got this edition in England, I believe, and this entire set was only £5. And then right next to that, I have the most underrated series of all times, which is also by Suzanne Collins, and that is the Gregor the Overlander series, and it is a middle grade series about this boy who discovers another world Underground, and it is so good. I am currently rereading that one as well. And then right next to that, I have my Neil Shusterman collection. I have Downsiders, and then I have the Unwind Dystology, which is such a cool word, but I love that series so much. And then this last shelf on this bookcase is more series and trilogies, etc. So all the way to the left there, I have the Six of Crows duology. I've only read the first one, need to read Crooked Kingdom. Then I have the Grisha trilogy, which I love. It's my favorite Leigh Bardugo books. I like them better than Six of Crows, unpopular opinion. Then I have the Fifth Wave trilogy, the Mara Dyer trilogy. Then I have some Brandon Sanderson books that I haven't read, but I need to because he's so popular. I have The Coldest Girl in Cold Town, which is a standalone on this shelf of series. After that, I have the Legend trilogy by Marie Lu. And then I think that's, I don't know what that trilogy is called on the last one, but it's Paranormalcy, Supernaturally, and Endlessly by Kirsten White. And it is all about supernatural stuff, which I love. We are on to the final tall bookshelf. Not the final bookshelf, but the final tall one. So this is my first shelf, and this is my Cassandra Clare shelf. If you couldn't tell, the first thing on here is a little pin that just says Shadowhunters Army that I got at the Cassandra Clare signing I went to. And then right here I have the Hufflepuff cup, and it just reminded me of, you know, the cup the Shadowhunters drink from, so I thought it was perfect on the shelf. Then I have a little troll here from Frozen that just looked so nice. And then right here I have this old silver tin that reminded me of the tin that Jim has, so I thought it looked really nice on the shelf. Then I also have a Clockwork Angel necklace right there, and then I have a poster up top that I got at the signing, but not gonna take that out because don't want to unroll it, because don't have anywhere to put it right now. So all the way to the left here, I have the Infernal Devices trilogy, which is so good, need to reread. Then I have the Mortal Instruments series, which is what got me into Cassandra Clare. I mean, come on. And then these three books are the Dark Artifices series that I still need to read the last two because I reread Lady Midnight so many times and just can't bring myself to continue because heartache. And then also at the signing, I got this exclusive sneak peek of the Red Scrolls of Magic, which is going to be it's going to be a Magnus Bane and Alec Lightwood story, which I'm so excited for. And then of course I have the Bane Chronicles, the Tales from Shadowhunter Academy, the Shadowhunters Codex, and then I have a copy of Lady Midnight that was like $5, and the spine is beautiful. And then this shelf is another favorites shelf. So right here I have a pin of the Miss Peregrine's movie. It looks like an old picture, which is so cool. Oh, it focused, that's so nice. And then I have this bookmark from Harry Potter that just says, "The stories we love best do live in us forever." And then I have a Harry Potter mug that has Harry's face on it with Dementors around it with a 9 3/4 luggage tag in it. So basically this is just a bunch of favorites. Right there I have Vampire Academy, which I need to reread because I love vampires. I have this one really beat up copy and it's an old cover. Like, look at the difference here. Look at this. Like, clearly one is better than the other. And then right next to that I have the Bloodline series. I don't have all the books, but those are just 4 of the books. I think there's 5, there might be 6, but probably 5. I feel like that's a good answer. Still need to read those. Right next to that I have the Shatter Me trilogy. I don't have Restore Me. I don't know if I want to buy it or not. I love Tahara though. And then I have this Furthermore sampler snippet thing. And then right next to that, one of my favorite series of all time. So I have the movie edition of Miss Peregrine's because I love the movie and this series, and this cover is really cool. And then I just have a paperback of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, Hollow City, Library of Souls, and A Map of Days, which I'm currently reading, and then Tales of the Peculiar. And then right here I have 2 little bitty things. So this was a pre-ordered deal, and it is a, I don't even know what year. It's a calendar from, doesn't say, but it's from like 2 years ago, I think. 1 or 2 years ago. And then right here is a snippet from Tales of the Peculiar. So if you hear noise in the back, I'm so sorry because I think my mom's cooking, which is good because I'm starving. But this is another favorite shelf. So right here I just have a Pop Funko and another figurine of Toothless. I love Toothless so much, so I have a lot of figurines of him. And then I have a bunch of candy from Christmas and a butterbeer mug over there that I put candy in. So first over here we have the ACOTAR trilogy by Sarah J Maas. I haven't read that, but my friend Natalie from The Truth About Books sent me those, and that is so nice. These books are so popular, and I love Sarah so much, so I definitely want to read them. I'm a little scared because they're new adult, and that is not my forte, but we'll see. And then right here, I have some of the books from the Throne of Glass series. I need to get Kingdom of Ash and I don't know what it's called, I don't remember, but the story about Kale, which, unpopular opinion, I love Kale. And then right next to that, I have a UK edition of the Throne of Glass, well, the first book, I guess, not the series, and I love it. It's beautiful. And then I have 3 books in the Aragon series, and then right there I have 3 books in the An Ember and the Ashes series. Not sure how many books are going to be in it, but I'm so excited because I love it. So on this shelf, you can see a glare from my light and my fan up there, so we're going to remove that, but it's just a picture of me in front of the Colosseum in Rome, Italy. And then over here on the left, I have The Diabolic, I have The Chemist, The Host, I have some Ryan Groden books, which I love her books so much. I want to read all of them. Then I have an Arc of City of Ghosts. I have This Savage Song. That's my little Victoria Schwab collection. I need more of her books. And then I have H2O and The Storm. These are kind of like my white books, I guess. Then I have the Program series. I only have 4 books in that series, but I have loved the ones that I've read. And then one of my favorite books at the very end there is Hotel Ruby by Suzanne Young. And then the last shelf on this bookcase is just some more like series where I don't have all the books. Well, some of them I do, but we'll see. So all the way on the left there, I have The Diviners, the first 2 books in that series by Libba Bray. Then I have my Divergent series, which I absolutely love. Like I said, I love dystopian. Then I have my Of Poseidon trilogy, which I also love because I love mermaids. I have Reboot and Rebel by Amy Tintera, which is so good and so underrated. I have some Mary E. Pearson books. Then I have the Lux series, which is an old series and I still need to read. And then I have 3 books in the Witch and Wizard series over there by James Patterson. Wow, we just flew through that shelf. My battery is literally about to die, so let's see if we can get through this last tiny shelf right here. I'm not going to put my camera on the tripod anymore and take it off because I'm tired of doing that, so I'm just going to hold it. So hopefully it's not too shaky. So first here on the shelf, we have 2 jewelry bags. One of them is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and one is from the Chronicles of Narnia. Then I have a Mary Poppins pin right there, and a little pineapple that has my name on it. I forgot to mention right here, I have some well, they're more like magic cards, I guess, from Matt Franco. He was the winner of America's Got Talent one season, and he has his own show in Las Vegas, and they're signed. So basically, this shelf is just a bunch of classics. I have Where the Sidewalk Ends by Shel Silverstein, which is a classic from me. Peter Pan, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I have The Secret Garden, which I still need to read. I've had since 4th grade. I have some Jane Eyre, Wuthering Heights. I have 2 Jane Austen books, Adventures of Robin Hood, and then I have a bunch of Shakespeare right here in this area. And then I have some modern classics like Kazuo Ishiguro. I have some Agatha Christie, and then I have some Chronicles of Narnia there. I have A Christmas Carol, and then over here all the way to the right I have The Giver. I have 3 books in that, but I have only read the first one, The Giver, which is one of my favorite books of all time. And then next is this shelf, which is some like children's books. All the way to the left here is like a tin from Twilight, and it has some Twilight journals in it. I have this book, which is really cool. It is Noah's Ark, but I was written into the story, so if you read it, my name is in it because my babysitter made that for me when I was little, which was so cool. One of my favorite children's books is right here. It is called Dragon Rider by Cornelia Funk, and it is so good. Like I said, I love dragons. Then over here, I have 3 books in the Princess Diaries series. So cute, so fun. I love that movie so much, and the books are so much fun to read. And then I just have Holes, which is another classic from my childhood. Then just a bunch of just random children's books. I also have 1 Scott Pilgrim graphic novel right there. This shelf is just kind of random and non-fiction type books. I have 2 tins that had tea in it from England there. So if you see, I have a British English A to Z over there. And then I have a book about Henry VIII, and I have a lot of London books over there from when I lived there. I have a Jack the Ripper book. I have some historical books. Over here, I have a Zodiac book, Nancy Drew, some Anne Perry books, and then I have 2 graphic novels slash comics over here. I have Saga Volume 1 and the first volume of The Walking Dead. So we are finally on the last shelf that I'm going to show you, and this shelf is my disappointment shelf. Books that I didn't really like or I just haven't read and I'm not too interested in. So there I have some more Toothless figurines, like I said. I have Vasa in the Night, Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, Beauty Queens, Warm Bodies, Gone Girl, and then I have the entire Gone series, which I used to love when I was little, but upon rereading it, it is pretty problematic from what I read. I had to stop reading it. So that is it for my bookshelf tour, and I know you might be thinking, Keeley, you said you had 6 shelves and you only showed us 5. And that is because one shelf over there against that wall is my Harry Potter and Twilight shelf. So I kind of want to do a separate tour video of that and take more time with it because it is really special and I have a lot of stuff on that. But I hope you enjoyed this version of my bookshelf tour. I know I didn't go into every book, but I hope I mentioned some that you were looking at and wanted to know about. I really hope this was quick and it wasn't like a 2-hour long video. I know that I got a really good workout doing this and it was really difficult. In some clips, I might be out of breath, but you know how it is. It's okay. But yeah, I really love how my shelves look right now, so I just thought I would welcome in the new year with a new bookshelf tour and come back to booktube because I've been away for a while. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to follow me on any other social media, my links will be down below, and I will see you next time. Bye! I'm literally gonna die doing this. This is gonna be my last thing that I ever film because I'm gonna die.